In this video, I'd like to talk about the typical time and materials or hourly contract you often see in software development. This is the contract you use for all the creative work you're not exactly sure about. And frankly, in software, most of it is what you're not exactly sure about, since you probably haven't done the exact thing before in the past. Our first tip, you have to be very clear about your objectives and what you want to do with this software. But you also want to say, this is our prioritized list of features that we want at least our first release. This means, of course, you'll need to spend some time together discussing the backlog, what you're trying to achieve, what the features look like when they're ultimately realized. Even with a T&M contract, I still recommend you put some kind of monetary cap for the whole term of the contract. Be very specific about, this is what we want to achieve with your objectives, and this is how much we have to spend. Then on a continual basis, hopefully every sprint you're looking at that and say, hey, do we have enough velocity? Do we have enough money to finish this and achieve the kind of objectives that we set out in the beginning? It's certainly possible that you'll get everything you need against the first few features that you launch, and you want to shut the project down. In that case, you want to make sure the termination period is long enough for your vendors to reallocate their folks somewhere else and not lose too much money. Be very specific about when you're going to write requirements or user stories, who's going to write the acceptance criteria that'll be reviewed at the end of the sprint or the increment, who is going to do the review, and if the software doesn't meet up to the requirements of the ACs, how much time does the vendor have to fix or cure the situation? And then after one sprint of cure or two sprints, whatever you decide is appropriate, they still can't fix it. Is there a termination? And if so, how long of a period of notification do they need if you're going to terminate them? So at least in Agile, not all of the agreements are in the statement of work or the master services agreement. The agreements are between humans. And that agreement happens on a daily basis where you talk about what's working and what's not working. And then find a place, hopefully a wiki somewhere, where you record that. And you hold each other accountable for moving forward in that manner. Whether it's attending grooming sessions or backlog refinement meetings, how you prepare for a demo, that type of thing. Always update your wiki outside of the contract, but it's still an agreement, a working agreement with your team, to record how you're going to be successful and get more efficient over time. In the next video, I'd like to discuss whether or not you should also be specific about the skills you expect from the folks the vendor brings to your team. That's a critical question to answer in the contract. Let's talk about it in the next video. See you next week.